What is up, YouTube? Good morning and welcome back to the My Crypto Journey live stream here for early morning crypto news live from sunny San Diego, baby. Good morning. Hope you're all doing fantastic today. The chat is bumping, baby. We have a lot of things going on today when it comes to the channel. We have 2 AMAs today. Shout out to Nutraceutical Finance. Killing it up today. Well, it's up decently, right? The entire market's kind of just trading sideways. But we're having an AMA over on Twitter. Links to my Twitter and my Instagram are in the description down below. Twitter is more crypto-based. Instagram is more personal life. Follow me on both social media platforms, but the AMA will be over on Twitter at 5:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we have an AMA with PlantMax at 4 p.m., baby. Busy day. What's going on, fam? How you doing? Clickety-clack that like button. Push us up in the old algorithm. And it looks like cryptocurrency is trading sideways today. Not much really going on when it comes to the price movement. Looks like the current market cap is still over 1 trillion, which I think is a good number for us right now. So nothing going on. And yes, Bone has been going absolutely crazy. So shout out to you if you bought some Bone in the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Well, if you bought at the bottom, obviously, if you've been accumulating, it's actually doing really, really well. So shout out to you guys out there. But of course, the big news is Coinbase is partnering with BlackRock. Now, last week, Kathy Woods and ARK Invest sells 75 million worth of Coinbase shares due to poor performance. Now, obviously, this is a week ago, and they sold them at $52. It was worth, I think, about $90 or $100 this morning. Obviously, it dumped a little bit. Because people are taking profits, but Coinbase went absolutely crazy this morning. So, of course, they're looking like clowns. But this just goes to show that no one can really time the market, guys. Remember, this is a big news story for us last week. Be careful. Everybody says BlackRock is bad. BlackRock is like, it's an investment management corporation, pretty much. And people say that, like they're evil and they caused the downfall of Terra Luna, which there's no like evidence for that, but that was one of the conspiracies that was out there. I think it's just that algorithmic stable coins don't work. And I think we're starting to learn that. And offering insane APYs don't work long term. But yes, Coinbase is partnering with BlackRock, which is huge because, of course, Coinbase is the biggest exchange in the United States. It doesn't have that many cryptocurrency products on it compared to like FTX or Binance, but they were in some trouble because of the SEC, but this is a huge deal. And if you weren't bullish on Coinbase before, this should be bullish because BlackRock, they own a lot of things, right? Now, there's a little caveat to this partnership. It's not all, fine and dandy and those sorts of things. What's up, Bullish Bernie? How you doing, bro? Bernie on all 5 of his accounts. Let's go, baby. So check this out. We're going to read this article right here. And sorry for my voice. It's a little like missing because I went out to a August Burns Red show with the homie last night and it was absolutely insane. My body is like done with shows and concerts for like ever. I'm like tired. I'm so tired. I'm like jacked up. So BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, has entered into a partnership with the crypto exchange platform Coinbase. The partnership was announced via a blog published on Medium. But of course, you can see it right here. Coinbase, we are proud to announce a partnership with BlackRock. As per the announcement, Coinbase will provide direct access to crypto assets to institutional clients of Aladdin. So there's a caveat, right? Aladdin is BlackRock's end-to-end investment management platform. Nonetheless, the initial access will be limited to Bitcoin. Additionally, access will be provided via Coinbase Prime. So Coinbase Prime and just Bitcoin. Moreover, the connectivity with Aladdin will allow clients to directly manage their Bitcoin exposure. According to Joseph Chalmon, global head of strategic ecosystem partnership at BlackRock, client interest in digital assets has been growing. BlackRock's institutional clients are focused on how to efficiently manage the operational lifecycle of these assets. So, if people like BlackRock are getting the cryptocurrency, that's a big deal, guys. I put a post up this morning. If you're not following me on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter real quick, guys. This is a huge deal. And we'll talk about Matt Wallace right now because I was actually on a live space with Matt Wallace, guys. Crypto is everywhere. The FOMO this next run is going to be insane. You thought the last FOMO was going to be crazy? It's going to be insane this time around. Get ready. Get ready. I hope you've been buying the dip. Now look I'm expecting a nice pullback, right? I'm expecting, I'm reading these comments. You guys are crazy. I'm expecting a nice pullback coming up very, very soon. But right now it's still a discounted price. Keep that in mind. Do me a favor, clickety clack that like button. I didn't even say hi to the chat this morning. Hold on, let me say hi to the chat real quick. We'll get into the news. I'm just excited about this news. We got Bree, Selmo Fudd, Nutra Beast, MBK, Gordon, Trevor, Doc, Robert, Crypto Art, Samuel Javi, Josh, Cameron, Sultan, Sacco Hunt. What's up, baby? Dom explains all 5 of Bernie's accounts. Extriog. What's up, babies? Yes, I do look like the chocolate rain guy. That's Tazon Day for you noobs out there. Okay, so let's get back to this. So look at BlackRock, Fidelity, like a lot of these people, it's just everywhere, right? It's cryptocurrencies everywhere. The next bull run is going to be insane. What's up, DJ? So this is absolutely awesome. The partnership announcement comes months after BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said that the firm would explore ways to provide crypto assets to its clients. So they took a few months, right? Saying, hey, we're going to look for a way to provide crypto assets to our clients. What can we do? And they saw Coinbase and they said, hey, we are bullish on Coinbase. Now, it's kind of confusing because when Cathie Wood sold or ARK Invest sold all of their Coinbase, we assumed that well, maybe they know something about the SEC that we don't, that maybe there's a little more probing going on and Coinbase might be in a little more trouble, which they could be. We don't know. But BlackRock is like, we trust them. Like, we're going to go ahead and enter a partnership with them. And I have a feeling that BlackRock has a lot of pull, right? I think that's kind of obvious. BlackRock has nearly $10 trillion worth of assets under its management. That's an insane number. $10 trillion worth of assets under its management. It is by far the largest asset management firm in the world. The company provides a range of funds and portfolios that invest in things like fixed income, money market instruments, and equity. On the other hand, Coinbase is one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world. However, the popular exchange is currently under the SEC's radar for listing unregistered securities. Additionally, there are accusations of insider trading against the exchange. And of course, we know those accusations to be true. Of course, that guy got fired, but he did get caught. Due to the sharp decline in cryptocurrency values, fierce competition, and a recent regulatory shock, Coinbase had a difficult year. Bringing in more institutional capital may be the key to its revival and a larger upturn for the digital asset sector as a whole. Now, I don't think it's just a digital asset sector struggling. It's everything right now, but maybe a little in particular, right? So nonetheless, the world's largest asset management firm probably feels there is nothing to worry about, as per the partnership announcement blog. So, of course, this is BlackRock and Coinbase will continue to progress the platform integration and will roll out functionality in phases to interest clients. Access is available for institutions contracted with both Aladdin and Coinbase. So that's actually pretty cool. So shout out to Coinbase for that huge partnership. Of course, Coinbase is probably the exchange I trust the most, although exchanges are a little weird right now when it comes to those sorts of things, of all the drama going on with some of these exchanges shutting down and a lot of people getting their money locked up. Now, quick update to the Solana hack story. Now, from what I know, there hasn't been much said. This is the Solana status page where you're getting the official updates. The last tweet was 19 hours ago. Shout out to Matt Wallace. I was able to go on his Twitter live space yesterday. If you guys don't know who Matt Wallace is, he's like the Dogecoin guy. He hit me up, invited me to go on a live space and talk about it. And so I did a little more research on it, and we'll touch on what's going on with Solana real quick because we really don't know. Now, the scary thing about this is that a lot of the hacks have been due to bridge exploits, right? Most recently, Nomad, and the biggest one, of course, Axie Infinity. Excuse me. Oh, I had a really good bagel this morning. That shit slappity slapped. Yeah, right? Okay, so they're trying to still figure out what's happening. 8,000 wallets affected for about $6 million so far. Hot wallets, not freaking cryptocurrency exchanges, hot wallets, DeFi wallets. So that's a big deal, right? That's a huge deal. This is an attack related to the private keys of users. That's terrible, right? That's terrible. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. The hack is signing user transactions. And of course, it's cryptocurrency that's affected on the the Solana blockchain, right? So Sol, USDC, Tether, and Solana tokens and NFT. So what to do? You should probably send it to exchanges or send them to cold storages. I'm not sure if the hack is continuing. I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, $5 million in the grand scheme of things is not a big deal. But what makes this scary is the fact that it's people's personal wallets. And I hope there's some sort of reimbursement, because $5 million, I think they can fork it out to help these people, right? So if you have Phantom wallets, go into your Phantom wallets, revoke access to all your trusted apps, and disconnect wallets from sites. Now, keep that in mind. Now, I know you guys are saying you don't like Matt Wallace, but that's actually a good message to put out to these people. He's been under a lot of fire for that whole token, that rugged. Remember that? We made a story on that. That's tough, right? That's tough. Dogecoin guy. I'm not a big Dogecoin guy at all, but I do like a influencer with like 600,000 people to ask me to talk about the Solana exploit. So that's good, right? That's good. The lady that got isn't that crazy? And not me, not you. Yeah, so it's Kathy Woods. ARK Invest is like her investment tech stock thingy investment fund, right? They just haven't been looking too good lately. This is a poor trade. This is a poor trade. What's up, Texas Tornado? Let's go, baby. This is a poor trade, this is a poor trade. But it'd be like that sometime. Bernie. But people make poor trades, unless you're Nancy Pelosi, then you have all the insider information. You know what I mean? Then, you just don't have poor trades, right? You don't have poor trades. So that's pretty interesting. So check this out. The U.S. Senate bill will give CFTC crypto market oversight, but doesn't say how much. Now, about a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, hey, check this out. Remember, Charles Hoskinson spoke in front of the government with the CFTC about crypto, whether it's identified as a commodity or a fucking security. So, there's a lot of the lines are blurred pretty much. But there was a bill that was introduced that could pass. We'll see what happens. Guys, I understand that we don't want the government in the crypto, but the only way we're going to get big money in the cryptocurrency, like we just had with BlackRock getting into Coinbase exchange and offering a Bitcoin to their clients, we got to have some sort of regulation, and it's coming. Pause. So let's go ahead and listen to this article, and I think it's very, very interesting on what's going on. So shout out to CNBC, one of the goats.
Ethereum rival Solana dropping 4% today after a big cyber attack targeted thousands of digital wallets. The hack draining over $5 million worth of coins. Solana's founders tweeting that the hack does not appear to be an issue with the network itself, but with the wallet software. For more on all this, let's bring in Meltem Demir's, Chief Strategy Officer at CoinShares. I read your explanation, Meltem. I don't even know if we want to. I think explain exactly what happened with Solana. If you can, keep it understandable for someone like me and maybe a lot of a lot of you.
First of all, shout out to my boy with the gap right here. Let's see if she can explain it right. We understand what happened.
Because it doesn't seem like it was a deeply ingrained problem with the entire protocol itself.
Yeah, and Joe, I was just saying, you're working so hard this summer. They got you doing mornings, they got you doing nights.
It's a privilege.
It's great to see you. So the Solana issue, look, I think it's really important to separate that Solana, the network itself, is not insecure. There are no issues with the Solana protocol. The issue is with a wallet that was used. It's a very popular wallet. It had an exploit in it, a bug that revealed the private keys. There's this great phrase in crypto, not your keys, not your coins. And unfortunately, this is really common today with a lot of the applications that people are using to act.
Damn, that sucks, dude. 5 mil, 8,000 wallets.
Access different protocols and different Web3 apps is sometimes there are bugs in them that are insecure that expose your keys and allow for these exploits. But just to zoom out a bit and give everyone a little bit of context, yesterday evening's events impacted about 8,000 wallets. There are 15 million active wallets on Solana every month. So as a proportion of the overall user base of Solana. Very, very small. Of course, the goal is that this should never happen to anyone, right? Worst experience possible.
And that's the point of this. I understand that in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal, but this is not where you're supposed to get affected for a hack. Like, you're supposed to get phished. Like, it's supposed to be my fault. Like, I'm supposed to connect to a bad website and get my funds drained. It should be my fault. It shouldn't be an exploit from a hot wallet. It's just absolutely insane to me. And yeah, so why only take Sol coins? That's BS. Yeah, exactly, right? So in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's like 8,000 wallets is a lot. And I'm sure it's not 8,000 individual people, but this should be, if people are getting, their funds drained, it should be for the fault of their own, not like because this fucking network made a mistake. That's messed up.
But in context, this was a really, really small exploit, and 5 million in the grand scheme of crypto is not a tremendous number. Goal is 0, but in context, this was small.
Bonawyn, you got a question?
Hey, Meltem, Bonawyn here. So, yeah, so there's been much of debate made about whether these currencies are securities, whether they're commodities, whether they're going to be regulated by the SEC or the CFTC. Would you mind kind of shedding some light on what the implications are, whether they're bucketed as one security or the other, and how that might affect price dynamics going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think the biggest challenge right now is commodities and securities have very different rules in terms of how you bring these products, these listings to market, and the venues where they trade. Securities have to trade on national securities exchanges. They go through the SEC process. Commodities have their own oversight. They go through, obviously, the CFTC. They have their own process in terms of how products and markets get created. I think one of the biggest challenges right now is there are a lot of different types of crypto venues. There are regulated centralized exchanges like the Coinbases, the Geminis, the Krakens of the world. There are also a lot of decentralized exchanges, or these protocols that people use to trade. And so there's all of these different options. They all have different ways of interacting. And the biggest challenge is, what are some of the requirements around transparency, disclosure, right? We have this with securities. Are those requirements relevant to all cryptocurrencies? Are they relevant to specific subset? So there's a little bit of a battle going on. Crypto used to be a hot potato. Nobody wanted to touch it from a regulatory perspective.
Did she say crypto used to be a hot potato? Could you say crypto used to be a hot potato? It used to be a hot potato. All right. But she's right, though, right? No one wants to touch it. But now everyone wants to touch it, right? Because it's becoming more mass adopted. And of course, yes. I mean, when things are securities, like, there needs to be full transparency. And honestly, some of these fucking cryptocurrency teams need some fucking full transparency, right? Exactly, DJ. The crazy thing is that these rules, these SEC and the CFTC, like, these are kind of old, outdated laws and rules that were made up, and it's like, we need something more modern, right? If we can redefine what recession is, maybe we can redefine what a security and a commodity is. You know what I mean? Since this administration wants to say we're not in a recession, you know what I mean? We want to change the definition of a recession. Maybe we could do something with this. We're just changing everything now, Now
it seems like the SEC really wants to take the lead, but the CFTC is fighting back. So we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to end it. Just real quickly, I heard Bitcoin 200-day moving average back above it. I mean, there's some. It's almost like the Nasdaq.
This guy does talk like me.
So correlated, and I don't know whether that's going back to 17,000 either. And maybe, but maybe not this week.
This guy is stuttering like me. This guy needs to chill out.
We'll see. We've seen a lot of inflows over the last month, around 400 million of inflows back into crypto investment products. So there are buyers. Not everyone's having a good time in Europe this summer. Some people are trading. So we'll see. But we're optimistic. And as we go into the fall, I think we'll get a clearer picture of where the momentum's headed.
Potato.
Karen, how would you trade this?
Solana?
No, I don't know. They tell me you want to trade
something. This is fucking awkward.
Well, I am Coinbase.
Coinbase sort of interesting. I do think. I mean, it's bounced back, but I do think they're in an interesting spot. They got a lot of wallet share, and I don't own it, but that one is probably one I could see. I do own, so I do have Bitcoin exposure.
Of course, this is before the pump.
Long time.
Mm-hmm.
Took some money off the table and just I'm gonna see how this plays out. I actually think it's kind of amazing. It's not lower than where it is now, right? You talk about how it came down from 70.
Peru Invest. She has long hair, and for that reason, I am out.
69,000, wherever it was, to right here. You have a lot of stocks that have.
All right, these guys suck. I don't know what these guys are talking about. These guys suck. I don't know what these guys are on right now. But the point is that regulation for cryptocurrency is probably going to be soon. She looks evil. Hopefully it's not her. Just kidding. Let's see. So U.S. Senate bill will give CFTC crypto market oversight, but doesn't say how much. How much will it, right? The measure would make the Commodity Futures Trading Commission the watchdog for most of the market, but it doesn't define whether tokens are securities or commodities. We're just gonna go as we go, right? Okay. The latest U.S. legislative effort to steer most crypto oversight to the Commodities Future Trading Commission (CFTC) has bipartisan support, but does little to answer the crypto's industry top question: what makes a token a security or a commodity? That's the fucking question of the damn year. We don't know. The legislation from the leaders of the Senate's Agricultural Committee would require crypto's firm involvement in the trading of digital commodities, including Bitcoin and Ether, to register with the CFTC as their primary regulator. Something industry leaders such as FTX co-founder and CEO SBF are cheering from the sidelines. But while the bill would grant expanded authority to the FTC's oversight of crypto spot markets, it relies on the courts and Securities and Exchange Commission's (SEC) to set the boundaries for which tokens may be considered a commodity. Now, I think that going forward, right, we get the gist of this, but going forward, I just think that I don't know, can you go back in time and start punishing these cryptocurrency products for doing things that were just kind of unclear of like you can't, how can you classify something that's so new and different? And I understand that it's similar to like shares in a company and similar to like IPOs, like ICOs are, I get it, but how can you go back in time and punish cryptocurrency projects and people when there's no clear rules that specifically state like, hey, this has to be something else. This is new technology, right? I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. Chat's going a little crazy. Every token will need Inu voltage change to help delete their token supply. Wait, what? I'm sure Satoshi is going to file with the SEC. Right? What's up, Bud Yeti? How you doing? So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't get too crazy with it, but we're going to need some sort of regulation when it comes to cryptocurrency, right, going forward. I think that the lines really can't be blurred too much longer. So we'll see what happens with that. But there's not a ton of news. We have a video from Clear Value Tax that we're going to watch, but it's really long. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that later. But it gives you some oversight on the economy and where things are going. So shout out to Europe. Inflation's going absolutely crazy. I think they just raised their interest rates by 50 basis points. So that sucks. That really sucks. So of course, Watcher Guru gave us a story. So what's the deal with Elon Musk and Twitter? So Elon Musk Twitter's countersuit will be publicized by Friday. That's going to be interesting. It says that $1.1 billion of Bitcoin has been added to exchanges in the last 30 days. It looks like for the Nomad exploit, they returned $9 million yesterday. I guess they returned $3 million more. So at $12 million out of a $190 million exploit, that's good. Twitter subpoenas Binance and several others over the $44 billion Elon. This is going to get. Is this a 4D chess move from Elon Musk? What's going on here? What's going on? Is this a 4D chess move from Elon Musk? I don't understand what's going on. Interesting. And that's really about it for news. There's not a ton of news today, guys. I mean, there's some shitcoin news we could talk about, of course. Sata Pro came out, but no one really cares. Wait, hold on. Mark Zuckerberg has announced plans to add Coinbase and okay. So Coinbase and Dapper integrations to his platform. What's Dapper? I know what a DApp is, but what's Dapper? Is it like a word for decentralized applications? That's interesting. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the Bank of England has raised interest rates by 50 basis points to 1.75%, the highest increase since 1995. So sorry if you're English. Your money is worth nothing. What's up, Mass Powers? He asked to take down the interview where I called him a scammer, or that video where I called him a scammer. Not anytime soon, Green Candle. I don't expect one anytime soon. Alan says Elon is going to drag this out until a full audit of users are done by a third party. That's some fucking 40 chess. Sata Pro still waiting on iOS, hater. I mean, Saitama is always lagging on something, right? This is what they did last time. It was out for one place and it wasn't out for another. So this is what they're doing. Peru says Elon has to buy Twitter. Court will say you buy Twitter now, get the hell out. And yes, you owe Court Tesla Model S for wasting time. Elon, you can send me a Model S. That'd be nice, please. Oh, Milton's announcement. So we'll talk about Saitama first, I guess, because people are talking about Saitama, and we'll talk about Terrarium next. I guess Terrarium has some sort of like big announcement today. So Sita Pro is out, but only in the Google Play Store. So if you want to, get Sita Pro, why though? You know, why? Why would you want Sita Pro? You know. So if you're into that. Ooh, yeah, Saitama, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get the fuck out of here. What's up, Biz? How you doing, baby? I mean, we'll see what happens with Saitama in the future, but you know, hey, you know, look at if they killed, if they kill it in a year or two from now, or like 5 years down the road, look, no one's gonna forget all the fuck ups they did. I'm just not sure how the way they started, they could do that going forward. We'll see if they get their shit together, right? But you know, we'll see what's going on with that. We'll see what's going on. What's your favorite Sita Pro feature? The delete app feature. Oh, I had an AMA. Damn, I'm out of the loop, dude. I am out of the loop, bro. I'm out of the loop. So Sita Pro come out. So if you let's check out Volt Inu. I guess Volt Inu had something come out today too, right? Volt Inu. Baylor Bear says, yesterday Solana CEO said there would be a big announcement at conference in November. Kind of sounded like a retail thing. Thoughts? You know what? I know they have the phone coming out, Baylor Bear. I'm not sure. But they need to handle the situation that's coming out. He said yesterday, in the midst of what's going on right now. Yeah, I don't know. I had the phone, right? I mean, people don't like the phone idea, but man, hey, I mean, you know, Samsung and Apple are dominating right now, so maybe there's room for another person on the blockchain. Who knows? I mean, when the iPhone came out, it was nice, but you know, BlackBerry was dominating, sidekicks, keyboards were dominating. Who knows? You know, I don't know. You never know. So apparently Volt Inu is on like 1 million exchanges, which is great, but exchanges don't do anything to establish projects anymore, guys, unless they're huge exchanges. They're just not going to. I like Volt Inu, but I don't like Volt Inu. These are some butt-ass ugly NFTs. These are butt ugly. They are not. These are some butt ugly NFTs. And if you argue with me, you're wrong. No, Solana phone. Solana's making a phone. But shout out to Volti Change. You know? Saitama Uchiha. You can't call other things shitcoins when Saitama's a shitcoin. It's okay. You're some. Oh, I'm sorry. Saitama's a blue chip. Get the fuck out of here. You know. But Voltage might be good. They have a centralized exchange too. I mean, I think it's a DEX, right? I don't fucking know. Yeah, decentralized exchange. So everyone wants their own damn decentralized exchange, and I guess they'll burn their token or something like that. I don't know, guys. Let's go to Terrarium. Apparently, Terrarium has something going on too. Some big news. Drop that bomb. So apparently, Milton said, "Let's go to Milton." I saw Awesome tweet about it. Milton. Okay, Milton said, "Why wait for 10 days? Dropping tomorrow. Fasten your seatbelts. Terrarium tech." So I guess there's going to be a big announcement tomorrow. So the next Terrarium announcement will be the biggest bomb. I cannot disclose until completion due to policies and docs in place, but I can guarantee you that you would be on cloud nine the next 10 business days if you are a holder. Great things take time. So he said this is a big game right here. What's the big Terrarium news? Is it time to buy a bag of Terrarium? Right? Is it time to buy a bag of Terrarium? Oh, yeah. And yes, WAGMI Games is up on the day. WAGMI is doing really, really well. So we'll see what happens with Terrarium. I don't know. Let's check out WAGMI real quick. Of course, WAGMI just killing it. Let's see. Shout out to WAGMI. So this is really big for WAGMI, is making sure they like literally got on the phone. So that's really awesome. So now they have an app, right on the phone. And yesterday for my birthday, they actually made like a little funny meme of me, which I thought was hilarious. So good for them. Modeling their business, having their business modeled after Clash Royale, which is very, very good. I mean, that'd be crazy, man. That'd be crazy if they could get some kind of clout like this. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I mean, if you have WAGMI, I mean, it could be crazy. Could be crazy. I have a nice bag of WAGMI. That's like my biggest, like, I'd say, smaller cap community token moon bag. If this goes crazy, see ya. Buy the rumor, sell the news. It could be. Oh, but he can't let us know about listing on Binance. Damn, legal alien. You're right though. You're right though. That is true, bro. That is true. It's like, I'm not gonna get into that right now, but you know how I feel about that situation. You know how I feel about the situation. I thought it was hilarious. He can let. Oh, and then shout out to Nutritional Finance, of course, doing well. 5,000 followers. Nice. Got to wait till we get that. I know they partnered with Yeti Coin. We got to go ahead and get back. So Monday, August 8th, they're going to have a buyback and burn. So all new buys will be airdropped an additional 10% of their purchase. Nice. Okay. That's pretty neat. That's a pretty nice incentive. WAGMI is actually starting with a mobile app very soon. I think in October. So that's a big deal, DJ. That's like the best case scenario, is to get them on the phone, because if it works well on the phone and it bops, it's going to go crazy. Should have J-Way. So shout out to Nutraceutical Finance. All these promotions going on. Of course, we are having an AMA today. Should be good. Stop the cap, buy Bone. Yeah, Shiba Inu is going crazy, man. If you bought the bottom of Bone, right? Because remember, I mean, it's pumping, but hopefully you're buying the dip. It's at 95 cents right now. The grand scheme of things, it's not the shit, but I mean, it was at this range, months ago, but it's pumping like crazy. So over the last month, it's been going absolutely nuts. So you made some good money if you bought this dip. And the cool thing about it is, like, it was kind of trading here for a little bit, right? Yeah, it was kind of down on the shitter for a little bit. So I know Austin made some good money on this. So shout out to you, Awesome. Nice, Edgar. Damn, nice. That's a nice bag, bro. Bree says, tell me why the official Zombie Inu official Twitter randomly followed you. Did they really? Shout out to DJ Cool Guy. Fucking killing it when it comes to Xenu. Been in the game for a while, right? Saitama's getting into the porn business. They already have experience fucking their holders. Oh, geez. UFC sponsorship coming? All right, let's go check out this. Warning from the Federal Reserve, the recession will get worse. So let's get some more fear into our lives. Shout out to our main man at Clear Value Tax. Let's watch it.
Confusion about what the Federal Reserve actually said about the economy, the recession, inflation.
We're all gonna die, baby.
Rates. I'm going to clarify all of this for you with video clips straight from the Federal Reserve.
Let's go, baby.
The Federal Reserve, they raised interest rates on July 27th. Now, Jerome Powell, he's the chair of the Federal Reserve. He's the guy in charge. After the interest rate increase, Jerome Powell, he gave a press conference for 54 minutes. Now, a lot of things that Powell said, he said in a very technical manner. So I'm going to interpret his technical mumbo jumbo for you. And I'm going to condense it so that you don't have to go through that torture, 54 minutes of watching Powell speak, because it was very boring. I'm going to give you the highlights, but I will not be taking anything out of context. I was very mindful of that. So I've organized this video for you in a very easy to follow format, and we're going to be covering 7 topics. Number 1, it's going to be the status of our economy. 2, whether the Federal Reserve believes if we're in a recession or not. 3, what the Federal Reserve wants to do. 4, the future outlook of our economy. 5, what the Federal Reserve is basing their decisions on. 6, the Federal Reserve's message to low-income Americans. And number 7, it's Jerome Powell. It's going to be him admitting to another mistake. We're going to begin with the status of our economy.
Illegal.
In this clip, you're going to see that Jerome Powell says that there's currently a labor shortage and the rate of inflation is unacceptably high.
The current picture is plain to see. The labor market is extremely tight and inflation is much too high.
Now, in this clip that I'm about to show you, Jerome Powell says that Americans are spending less money because incomes are not keeping up with inflation. So that's what happens when real wages decline, disposable income drops. Powell says that the housing market is slowing down because interest rates are rising. This is making homes more unaffordable than ever. He says the businesses, they're investing less. This means that they're hiring less and they're buying less equipment. So take a look at this clip.
Recent indicators of spending and production have softened. Growth in consumer spending has slowed significantly, in part reflecting lower real disposable income and tighter financial conditions. Activity in the housing sector has weakened, in part reflecting higher mortgage rates. And after a strong increase in the first quarter, business fixed investment also looks to have declined in the second quarter.
That is the current state of the economy. You heard it from Powell himself. Now, I'm going to show you Powell's opinion on whether we're in a recession or not. Powell does not believe that we are in a recession because unemployment is low.
So I do not think the U.S. is currently in a recession.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Come on now, look at him. Come on now.
And the reason is there are just too many areas of the economy that are performing, too well. And of course, I would point to the labor market.
Now, Powell believes that we are not in a recession because he says that there are too many areas of the economy that are performing too well. However, the only data point that he gave for that argument is low unemployment. I find it very interesting that he said that because in his press conference, he said that consumer spending is slowing, real wages are declining, production is slowing, GDP is falling, and business investment is slowing. But apparently, low unemployment trumps all of those factors. And he believes for that reason, we are not in a recession. That's just an observation. Also, I want to point out that not every recession is the same, and not every recession is going to look the same. In this recession, the demographics are different. We have the baby boomers retiring. This is contributing to labor shortages, and this is contributing to low unemployment. Additionally, you have to remember that real wages are declining. So yes, we are adding jobs, but those jobs, they pay less and they're not keeping up with inflation.
This is Clear Value Tax, Clear Value Tax.
Now, I'm going to show you what the Federal Reserve wants to do. The Federal Reserve, they want to bring inflation down to 2%. We're currently at 9.1%. So it's going to be a long and difficult journey. So you can expect more interest rate increases. Powell says that higher interest rates will be appropriate.
It is essential that we bring inflation down to our 2% goal if we are to have a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Against this backdrop, today the FOMC raised its policy interest rate by 0.75 of a percentage point and anticipates that ongoing increases in the target range for the federal funds rate will be appropriate. In addition, we are continuing the process of significantly reducing the size of our balance sheet.
In this video clip that I'm about to show you, Powell says that it is necessary for the economy to slow down further. He said that we need growth below potential. This means that he wants further contraction in the economy, which is going to deepen the recession. Powell is expecting the economy to get worse and that higher unemployment will be necessary to get inflation down to 2%.
So as I mentioned, we think it's necessary to have growth slow down, and growth is going to be slowing down this year for a couple of reasons. One of which is that you're coming off of the very high growth of the reopening year of 2021. You're also seeing tighter monetary policy, and you should see some slowing. We actually think we need a period of growth below potential in order to create some slack so that the supply side can catch up. We also think that there will be, in all likelihood, some softening in labor market conditions, and those are things that we expect and we think that they're probably necessary if we were to have to get inflation, if we were to be able to get inflation back down on a path to 2%, ultimately get there.
In this video clip, Powell says that he doesn't want a recession. Powell says that he also believes that we can still avoid a recession. But take a look at his body language when he says that. It doesn't really emit confidence. He also has a terrible poker face, so you'll see at the end of the clip.
He does.
So we're trying to do just the right amount, right? We're not trying to have a recession, and we don't think we have to. We think that there's a path for us to be able to bring inflation down while sustaining a strong labor market. As I mentioned, along with, in all likelihood, some softening in labor market conditions. So that's what we're trying to achieve, and we continue to think that there's a path to that. We know that the path has clearly narrowed, really based on events that are outside of our control, and it may narrow further.
The scratch on the neck. Oh my God.
So
now here's what the Federal Reserve is going to do and the outlook of our economy. The Federal Reserve, they're going to keep raising interest rates until inflation falls down to 2%. This is going to hurt the economy. In this clip, Powell says that the interest rate increases that we've recently done, he says they have not been fully felt by the economy, and the economy is going to get worse.
We'll be asking, do we see inflationary pressures declining? Do we see actual readings of inflation coming down? So in light of all that data, the question we'll be asking is whether the stance of policy we have is sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation back down to our 2% target. And it's also worth noting that these rate hikes have been large, and they've come quickly, and it's likely that their full effect has not been felt by the economy. So there's probably some additional tightening, significant additional tightening in the pipeline.
In this clip, Powell says that the journey to get inflation down to 2%, it's going to cause more damage to the economy and higher unemployment. However, he says that it is necessary to bring inflation down.
We are highly attentive to inflation risks and determined to take the measures necessary to return inflation to our 2% longer run goal. This process is likely to involve a period of below trend economic growth and some softening in labor market conditions. But such outcomes are likely necessary to restore price stability and to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run.
The Federal Reserve, they meet again in September. They're going to wrap up their two-day policy meeting on September 21st. That's when they're going to raise interest rates again. It's pretty much a given that they're going to raise interest rates on September 21st because we are nowhere near 2% inflation. So the question is, how big is the interest rate increase going to be? Powell said that the Federal Reserve, they might do another big rate increase in September, but it's going to depend on the July and August inflation reports.
Over coming months, we will be looking for compelling evidence that inflation is moving down, consistent with inflation returning to 2%. We anticipate that ongoing increases in the target range for the federal funds rate will be appropriate. The pace of those increases will continue to depend on the incoming data and evolving outlook for the economy. Today's increase in the target range is the second 75 basis point increase in as many meetings. While another unusually large increase could be appropriate at our next meeting, that is a decision that will depend on the data we get between now and then. In terms of September, we're going to watch the data.
Why are we zooming in on her face? What a stressful job this guy has, right? Especially right now, right? What a job. What a job. All eyes on this guy is every single day, right?
Data and the evolving outlook very carefully and factor in everything and make a decision in September about what to do. And I'm not really going to provide any specific guidance about what that might be. But I mentioned that we might do another unusually large rate increase, but that's not a decision that we've made at all. So we're going to be guided by the data.
Now, moving beyond September, investors are expecting that the Federal Reserve, they're going to stop raising interest rates by spring of 2023. So Powell was asked about this, and Powell's response, it was basically, I have no idea what we're going to do.
Nick Timiraos of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, you've said that your policy works through influencing expectations and that policy needs to be at least moderately restrictive, which means you need financial conditions to stay tight. Futures market pricing currently implies you will raise rates this year along the lines of your June SEP, but then lower them a few months later next year. Are these expectations consistent with the need to keep financial conditions tight in order to moderate purchasing power and bring inflation back to 2%?
So I'm going to start by pointing out that it's very hard to say with any confidence in normal times. In normal times, what the economy is going to be doing in 6 or 12 months.
Yeah,
and to try to predict what the appropriate monetary policy response would be. I mean, of course, we do that in the SEP, but nonetheless, you've got to take any estimates of what rates will be next year with a grain of salt, because there's so much uncertainty. These are not normal times. There's significantly more uncertainty now about the path ahead than I think there ordinarily is, and ordinarily it's quite high.
Listen.
And of course, this all affects cryptocurrency, right? In the grand scheme of things, this all affects cryptocurrency. So it's important because it gives us an idea on what the market's going to look like, right? And yeah, he's got the meat sweats right now, right? I don't fucking know is what he said. And in layman's terms, I don't fucking know.
You heard it yourself. Powell said that he's not going to take a proactive approach. He's going to take a reactionary approach. So Powell, he doesn't know what he's going to do. Now, here's the problem. If the Federal Reserve doesn't raise interest rates high enough, then inflation, it's going to remain high. If the Federal Reserve raises interest rates too high, it's going to cause a deeper recession. Jerome Powell, he was asked, which scenario is worse? Powell responded by saying, not raising interest rates enough is more dangerous. This means that the Federal Reserve, they're going to continue to be aggressive in their interest rate increases.
If you're going to make a mistake, would you rather make the mistake on doing too much, raising too much, than raising too little?
Yeah, we're trying not to make a mistake. Let me put it this way. We do see that there are two-sided risks. There would be the risk of doing too much and imposing more of a downturn on the economy than was necessary. But the risk of doing too little and leaving the economy with this entrenched inflation, it only raises the cost. If you fail to deal with it in the near term, it only raises the cost of dealing with it later. To the extent people start to see it as just part of their economic lives, they start to factor high inflation into their decisions. When that, on a sustained basis, when that starts to really happen, and we don't think that's happened yet, but when that starts to happen, it just gets that much harder, and the pain will be that much greater. So I really do think that it's important that we address this now and get it done.
Now, I want to show you what data the Federal Reserve is looking at to see if they're making progress on their fight against inflation. The Fed is saying that they're looking at the PCE instead of the CPI to make their decisions. The Federal Reserve, they're using PCE because it has a lower emphasis on food prices, gasoline prices, and the cost of housing. Powell says that PCE is a better measure of inflation in the lives of Americans. However, many Americans would disagree with this approach because the price of food, the price of gasoline, and the price of housing is kind of important in day-to-day life of everyday Americans. So
Yeah,
please take
kind
a
of.
look at this clip.
So it's an interesting situation. Of course,
It's just interesting, right?
we've long used PCE because we think it's just better at capturing the inflation that people actually face in their lives. And I think that view is pretty widely understood. That said, the public really reads about CPI. And the difference really is because the CPI has higher weights on things like food, gasoline, motor vehicles, and housing than the PCE index does. And so that accounts for a lot of the difference.
In this clip, a reporter asks Powell, what would you say to Americans that are about to lose their jobs in this recession? Powell basically says, I understand your pain. And then he says that higher income Americans will be fine, and low income Americans, they're going to be in a bad spot if they lose their jobs. But he says that the Federal Reserve, they have to slow down the economy to bring down inflation, and it is what it is.
What would you say to individuals or households who may yet lose their jobs in this tightening cycle in the fight against inflation as they try to translate what Fed policy means to them in this complicated economic landscape? Thank you.
So I guess the first thing I would say to every household is that we know that inflation is too high. We understand how painful it is, particularly for people who are living paycheck to paycheck and spend most of that paycheck on necessities such as food and gas and heating their homes and clothing and things like that. We do understand that those people suffer the most.
That's tough.
Middle class and better off people have some resources where they can absorb these things, but many people don't have those resources.
And the last clip I want to show you, Jerome Powell, he was asked what he learned about money printing and loose monetary policy. And he said, this is his quotes. He said, I have to admit, I don't think I would do that again. And then he said that the money printing, it resulted in high inflation, which nobody expected. I would beg to differ and say, speak for yourself, Jerome, because a lot of people saw this coming.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to admit, I don't think I would do that again. I don't think I would do that again. Ultimately, the situation evolved in a highly unexpected way for all of us. And maybe the learning is that leave a little more flexibility than that.
Anyways, that was the press conference.
Wow.
I don't know what other people or what the media is saying about the Federal Reserve, but I think now you should have a crystal clear understanding of what's going on and what to expect. Please subscribe. I'll keep you updated.
The fucking man, clear value tax. I mean, look it, speak for yourself, Jerome. Right? Speak for yourself. Now, interesting enough, Watcher Guru came out with this statistic yesterday, which I thought was really, really interesting. And it kind of puts things into perspective for you because it is lower income people that are going to be affected mostly, right? Because the basic needs, your basic needs, right, go up. But when it comes to most Americans, where's that stat at? 58% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including 30% of those making $250,000 or more, right? 30% of people who make $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. That's not what the recommended 3 to 6 months of having your savings built up. You're supposed to have 3 to 6 months of savings built up, which a lot of people don't have. It's unrealistic for a lot of people to save 3 to 6 months of savings, especially when the cost of living is absolutely ridiculous. It is tough out there, right? It is absolutely tough out there. And when you listen to Jerome speak, there's just a lot of uncertainty. And we can speculate all we want about the market, but that's coming from like the horse's mouth right there. Right. We're seeing that we don't know what's going to happen with the economy in the next 6 months. We just don't know. They don't even know. Right. He doesn't even know whether to be reactive or proactive. And it looks like they're going to be reactive. So it's tough. Right. It's tough. So it's tough. Yes. The chat is out of control. Rorschach says, I won't touch anything Coinbase. BlackRock is pushing ESG hardcore. That could really screw with crypto investing. That's crazy that they really they manage $10 trillion. That's crazy. Uh, what's up, Twitch Radio? Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Oil companies, record profits. Yep. Exactly. He says, why don't you put the brakes on how much companies can rate prices on everything so they wouldn't lose any profits while all working people are still getting the same wages? That is true, right? The craziest hikes came from oil, gas, right? That's crazy. Now, Big A says real inflation rate is likely closer to 16 or 17%. I've heard that, Big A, or maybe even higher. Government finds the number that fits the narrative at the moment. Absolutely, right? Absolutely, 100%. Now they're going to print more money and raise everyone's taxes. Stories with Us says, good morning, everyone. Rodney, I like how your content is moving towards education and news around finance and current events. Keep growing, Soda. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Stories with Us. Damn, that was fucking wholesome as hell. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Church Radio says, not sure why you guys looking at it as a bad thing, though. We want the liquidity to roll in, not out. Rodney may be moving towards education, but the chat is moving towards fucking drama and chaos. Absolutely, right? But yeah, my is brutal R3. Yes, exactly, dude. When it comes to BlackRock and Coinbase, they're together, right? Made a little partnership. Yeah, I mean, I want to switch more to news and more educational stuff, and make it kind of entertaining, like a little news hour in the morning. So if you guys are like working out or whatever the hell you do in the morning at 8 p.m., or excuse me, 8 a.m., you get a little news, you know what I mean? A little entertainment going on, a little bit of spin on the news, right? Some cryptocurrency news. But I'll figure out more content to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of at a crossroads here. Because easy views would just to be dunk on Saitama, and I feel like those hype videos are kind of just empty, like, oh, this cryptocurrency fucking went 5% today. God, I just feel like those are overplayed, those videos are overplayed, but I don't know. What I do know is I do like streaming. That is true. That's what I do know. DJ says they already raised our taxes without anybody realizing. All they had to do is allow prices for everything to go up. Higher prices, higher sales tax amounts for the government to collect. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Marvin equals Flava. Wait, what are you guys talking about? Kurt says the Fed is fighting a fight they were not built for. We don't need them anymore. Let the free market work itself out. Those who provide quality goods and services will survive. Yeah, but they've created this problem by fucking printing a bunch of money. I did not get a drum kit yet. No, I did not. Still time to invest in Bone, Rodney? Bring Saitama drama? I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, bros. Hell yeah, Bree. Hell yeah. Honey, don't worry about it. Let us chat DJs handle it. You guys keep being you guys. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever change, I don't care how many people come into the chat. I don't care. You know what I mean? People actually like doing AMAs on my channel. Like, we don't get a ton of views. Like, we get like maybe 500 to 1,000 over time, which is good for a small project. But people like coming on my channel because you guys are straight assholes, but in a good way, because you ask the tough questions. Now, there are some questions that it's a little ridiculous. Like, sometimes I have products on here and you guys are just like, scam, scam, scam the whole time. It's like, maybe, but ask some tough questions. Like, you don't get to the truth by saying you're a fucking scam instead of just asking tough questions. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? You ask those tough questions. Products love coming on the channel because they know they're about to get put through the fucking ringer, right? Thank you, DJ. Day one in this baby. Yes, right, baby. Let's go. What's up, Richards? How you doing? Thank you, Justin, man. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Grove. Grove is going crazy. Yeah, you need regulations. You can't just let the fight go on by itself. That's the stupidest shit I ever heard. Twitch Radio. Crypto Jones, I love you, bro. Yeah, and then you guys say scam, but some people are just like, yeah, this is a fucking scam. It's like, God, I'm gonna grill them. Don't fucking say they're scammers, Oh, the concert was fantastic, Jay Linda. August Burns Red was insanely good. But my body's like done with music. It's like done with shows. Honestly, I didn't get to bed till like 2 a.m. last night. I feel like absolute dog water. But that's my only event for like the next month and 2 months, pretty much, right? Month and a half until motherfucking Lost Lands. So can't wait to see you guys at Lost Lands Bree. It's going to be fucking fantastic. I try to get Roger to go, but he can't. But guys, I am out of here. I'm going to go sleep, actually. I am so fucking tired right now. I went to bed way too late. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Remember, we'll be having 2 AMAs today. We'll be having the Plant Mex AM at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come ask the tough questions. Ask the tough questions. Over on Twitter, we'll be having another AMA at 5:15 Pacific Standard Time and updates with nutraceutical finance. So come hang out. I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much. You want me to host a terrarium space? What do you want me to say? They don't like me. I mean, it's not that they don't like me, but they're not paying me. I ain't hosting nothing. Appreciate that. Stories with us. We're gonna keep the train going, baby. All crypto news. All right, we're gonna keep the train going. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your ride, guys. Thank you so much. Stories with us. Have a fantastic time, guys. Love hanging out with you. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.